You aren't born to live a lightweight life. You aren't designed to drift through existence, carrying nothing, doing nothing, becoming nothing. No, you were built with the capacity to shoulder things that would crush others. You have been trusted with battles that many would run from, storms that would break the strongest, and burdens that seem too heavy for any one person to hold. And yet you're still here. That's not an accident. Life has a way of testing those who have been chosen for more. Some of you woke up this morning carrying a weight nobody sees. The pressure, the responsibility, the pain, all of it sitting on your shoulders while you still manage show up, speak life, and keep moving forward. People around you don't understand why you don't give up. They don't know the nights you've spent crying when no one was watching. They don't know the moments you've had to whisper to yourself, I can't quit now. This is the dangerous weight few can carry. It's the weight of vision when others are satisfied with average. It's the weight of faith when everyone else has surrendered to fear. It's the weight of leadership when you'd rather just be silent. It's the weight of staying steady when the ground under you is shaking. But here's the truth, that weight is shaping you. It's not there to destroy you, it's there to strengthen you. The pressure you feel is proof that there's something valuable inside you that must be brought out. Diamonds are created under pressure. Warriors are forged in fire. Leaders are born in the middle of chaos. You are not being crushed, you are being crafted. The weight you carry is not a coincidence, it is a direct reflection of the assignment on your life. Every challenge you face, every responsibility that seems too heavy, every season where you feel stretched to your limit is confirmation that there is a bigger picture unfolding around you. The weight is not here to crush you, but to call you up to a higher level. When you feel the heaviness pressing on you, it is a signal that you have been entrusted with something significant. People who are not called to greatness are rarely asked to carry anything beyond what is comfortable, but when there is greatness inside of you, life refuses to let you stay ordinary. This weight is the proof that you are chosen to do more than exist, more than just make it through another day. It is the evidence that there is destiny attached to your name and that destiny is calling you forward. When you think about the load you are carrying, it is easy to wonder why you were given this responsibility when others seem to have an easier path. They seem to laugh while you fight. They seem to rest while you work. But what you carry is tied to who you are becoming. The vision that is inside of you, the influence you are meant to have, the lives you are meant to impact require you to be forged in fire. This weight is your training ground. It is building in you a resilience that can't be taught by comfort. Comfort never changed anyone. Pressure does. Pressure is what makes you discover just how much capacity you actually have. You have probably noticed that no matter how many times you think about walking away from it all, you find yourself picking the weight back up again. That is because this weight is tied to your identity. It is not just something you are doing, it is something you are becoming. The fact that you are still standing after everything you have faced is the loudest confirmation that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The fact that the weight didn't crush you, that the pain didn't paralyze you, that the storm didn't sweep you away is evidence that there is a strength inside of you that most people will never understand. You have been trusted to carry things others would have dropped a long time ago. And though carrying it feels lonely, at times you need to know that this weight is separating you from the crowd for a reason. Not everyone can be a trailblazer. Not everyone can be a voice when the world is silent. Not everyone can stay faithful when it would be easier to walk away. That is why the load is on you. Because you can handle it. Because you will not fold under it. Because you will not let it go to waste. This weight is building a testimony inside of you that will one day speak louder than any words you could ever say. It will speak through your life, through the way you overcame, through the way you stayed consistent when everything around you tried to make you quit. Every single day you choose to carry this weight. You are proving that you are worthy of the assignment. Every single time you get up after being knocked down, every single time you refuse to give in to fear, every single time you take another step under the load, you are stepping closer to the future that was designed with you in mind. The heaviness you feel is not a sign that you are weak. It is a sign that you are trusted. It is a sign that heaven, fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it, saw something in you and said, they can carry this, they can take this and still rise. They can hold this and still inspire others. You are carrying a calling, and the weight of that calling is not meant to destroy you, but to wake you up to just how powerful you really are. Pressure has a way of revealing what's really inside of you. It forces out the strength, the creativity, the determination that you never knew you had. When life applies pressure, it is not just trying to break you down, it is trying to pull something greater out of you. Think about it. Coal under ordinary circumstances stays just coal. But when you apply enough pressure for long enough, it transforms into a diamond. That process is not comfortable, it is not quick, and it is not painless, but it is necessary. The same is true for you. Every challenge that feels like it is pressing in on every side, every season where you feel the weight of responsibility closing in, every moment where you feel stretched so far you think you might break, is the very moment that greatness is being formed inside you. Pressure does not come to those who are meant to stay where they are. It comes to those who are meant to go higher, grow stronger, and lead others. If you have felt life pressing down on you lately, it is a sure sign that you are being prepared for a level that is bigger than where you are now. The pressure is sculpting you, chiseling away at the parts of you that cannot go with you into your next season. It is refining your focus, shaping your character, teaching you endurance. Pressure is a teacher, and it often teaches lessons that can't be learned any other way. There are people who spend their whole lives avoiding pressure, avoiding hard conversations, avoiding challenges, avoiding risk. And they wonder why nothing changes. Pressure is the catalyst that forces growth. It pushes you beyond what is comfortable and into the place where transformation happens. The very thing that feels unbearable is what is building in you the capacity to carry more. Without that weight pressing against you, you would never know what you were capable of. You would never know just how strong your faith could be until it is tested. You would never know just how resilient your spirit could be until you are knocked down and have to get back up again. You would never know just how much vision you could hold until the pressure forces you to dream bigger than your circumstance. Pressure is not always glamorous. It doesn't feel good when you are in the middle of it. Sometimes it feels like you are suffocating, like there is no space to breathe, like every direction you turn there is resistance. But what is happening in those moments is that you are developing the muscles you will need later. Every moment under pressure is resistance training for your destiny. Every ounce of force that is pushing against you is building in you a strength that will sustain you when the weight is even heavier in the future. And pressure does not just build strength, it builds clarity. When life presses down, you suddenly see what really matters. You let go of the distractions, you strip away what is unnecessary, and you start focusing on what is essential. Pressure has a way of revealing your priorities. It shows you what you really believe, what you are really committed to, what you are really willing to fight for. It separates the superficial from the significant. You start to realize that some things you were worried about before don't even matter anymore because the pressure makes you focus on the mission. Pressure also reveals your potential to the world. People around you are watching how you respond. When life presses you, they see you stand tall when you could have collapsed. They see you keep showing up when you could have stayed down. And whether they ever say it out loud or not, It inspires them. Your perseverance under pressure is the proof that strength can look like grace under fire. That courage can look like consistency in chaos. That faith can look like steady steps even when the road is unclear. The weight you are carrying is not just for you. It is for someone who will one day look at your story and find the courage to keep going. Your pain is not wasted, even when it feels like no one notices the battles you fight in the dark. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment where you have had to pick yourself up off the floor is becoming part of a survival guide for someone who hasn't yet faced what you have faced. The truth is, someone needs to see you survive. They need to see you endure what tried to break you, because your survival gives them proof that it is possible. When you keep walking under the weight, you are not just walking for yourself, you are paving a path for someone else to follow. There are people who will never meet you, but your resilience will touch their lives. They may never know your name, but the lessons you learn through pain will shape the way you speak, the way you lead, the way you show compassion, and that will become the encouragement they need to take one more step. When you go through seasons of heaviness and come out on the other side, you carry with you wisdom that no book could teach. You gain insight into what it takes to heal, what it takes to fight through fear, what it takes to stay standing when life is trying to knock you down. When you share that wisdom, whether through your words or simply through the way you live, you become a lighthouse for others who are in the middle of their storm. There is a reason why some of the most inspiring people you have ever heard of are the ones who have faced the greatest adversity. Their pain became their platform. What they endured became the message that gave hope to others. In the same way, what you are carrying now is preparing you to be a source of hope for someone else. You are learning lessons that will help someone else avoid pitfalls. You are gaining strength that will one day allow you to lift someone else when they can't lift themselves. You are developing the kind of empathy that can only come from personal experience. Pain has a way of softening you and sharpening you at the same time. It softens you toward the struggles of others because you know what it feels like to hurt. It sharpens you because you know what it takes to keep going when quitting would be easy. That combination is powerful because it allows you to guide others with both compassion and strength. You are able to tell someone, I know how you feel, but I also know that you can get through this, and they will believe you, not because it sounds nice, but because they can see in your eyes that you have been where they are and you survived. Even the scars you carry become part of your message. Scars are proof that you were wounded, but they are also proof that you healed. They speak silently, reminding others that pain is not permanent, that you can be hurt and still come back stronger. Your scars are your credentials that say, I have been through it, and I am still here. When others see those scars, they know they can make it through their own battles, because they see living evidence standing in front of them. The weight you are carrying is heavy, yes, but it is also holy in a way. It is sacred because it is shaping you into someone who will one day be able to speak life into someone else's darkest moment. The very thing that is causing you to cry out for strength right now will one day allow you to be the answer to someone else's prayer for guidance. Your perseverance is not just saving your future, it is saving theirs too. Every step you take is blazing a trail through the wilderness, so that when someone comes behind you, lost and desperate, they will find footprints to follow. Your story will whisper to them, if they made it through, so can you. And that whisper might be the one thing that keeps them from giving up completely. Most people stop when the weight gets too heavy. Most people step back when the road gets too hard. Most people look for the exit when the pain becomes unbearable. But the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who keep pressing forward even when every part of them is screaming to give up, are the ones who separate themselves from the rest of the crowd. Quitting is easy. It requires nothing of you but surrender. Pushing forward requires courage. It requires strength that goes beyond what you feel. It demands that you dig deep into a part of yourself that most people never access. Every time you refuse to put down the weight, you are stepping into the rare air of the few who actually finish what they started.
There will always be moments when it feels like stopping would make sense. When the people around you don't understand why you are still fighting. When it looks like no progress is being made and nothing is changing. When the cost of carrying your responsibility feels greater than the reward. Those are the exact moments that determine who you become. Those are the crossroads where you either decide to shrink back into comfort or rise into greatness. Every person who has ever accomplished anything of significance had to walk through seasons where it would have been easier to quit. The only difference between those who finished and those who faded away was the decision to keep going.
When you refuse to quit, you begin to build an inner strength that cannot be bought and cannot be faked. Quitting feels good in the moment, but leaves you with regret later. Persistence feels hard in the moment, but leaves you with the satisfaction of knowing you gave everything you had. There is a power that comes from simply refusing to give up. It does not mean that you never feel tired. It does not mean that you never feel discouraged. It does not even mean that you never fall. It means that when you are tired, you rest, but you don't stop. When you are discouraged, you keep speaking to yourself until courage comes back. When you fall, you get back up, even if you have to crawl. Refusing to quit is not glamorous. Sometimes it means showing up when no one is clapping. Sometimes it means doing the hard work behind the scenes while no one even notices. Sometimes it means being misunderstood, being doubted, being told that you should give up because it's just not worth it. But it is in those lonely places where persistence is forged. When no one else believes in you, but you still take another step, you are proving that you are made of something different. You are proving that your commitment is not dependent on applause. It is rooted in purpose. When you keep going in the face of resistance, you create momentum that begins to build on itself. Every step forward becomes a statement. Every moment you endure when you could have surrendered becomes a declaration that says, I am not finished yet. People begin to take notice. Your resilience becomes an inspiration to those who are watching you. Even if they never say it out loud, your refusal to quit gives others permission to keep going too. Your fight lights a fire in people who are on the verge of laying theirs down. Refusing to quit also teaches you who you really are. When everything is easy, you do not truly know the depth of your own strength. It is only when you are pressed to your breaking point and you still refuse to fold that you discover what you are capable of. You learn that you are stronger than your excuses, stronger than your fear, stronger than the voice that tells you to stop. Every time you choose to continue, you are building a version of yourself that is unshakable. You are shaping a character that cannot be moved by circumstances because it is rooted in something deeper than how you feel in the moment. When the temptation to quit shows up, it is often right before the breakthrough. Many people walk away one step before the weight would have shifted. One day before the answer would have come. One moment before they would have seen the fruit of their labor. That is why refusing to quit is so powerful. It keeps you moving forward until you reach the place you have been working toward all along. Every small step matters. Every choice to keep showing up matters. Every decision to take one more breath, one more stride, one more day under the weight matters because it is creating the future you once dreamed about. Strength is never built in moments of comfort. Strength is forged in the moments where you are under tension, where everything in you feels the strain of the weight you are carrying, where your limits are tested and stretched beyond what you thought possible. Just like a muscle only grows when it is pushed to resistance, you are growing every time life applies pressure, and you keep standing under it. The strain you feel is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is developing. If you were never challenged, never stretched, never forced to hold more than you thought you could, you would stay exactly the same. Growth demands resistance. Every season of difficulty, every challenge that feels unbearable, every day you wake up with the weight still on your shoulders is a training ground. It is preparing you for the next level of responsibility, the next opportunity, the next victory. You may not see it right away, but the strain is adding layers of strength to your character, to your faith, to your mindset. The battles you are fighting right now are strengthening you so that when even bigger battles show up in the future, you are already ready to face them. The you who is being shaped in the middle of this strain will be wiser, tougher, calmer under pressure, and more equipped to handle what's ahead. There is something powerful about learning to embrace the strain instead of running from it. Most people do everything they can to avoid tension, to avoid conflict, to avoid carrying anything heavy. But that avoidance keeps them weak. It keeps them dependent on comfort and fearful of anything that challenges them. You, however, are learning to let the strain work in your favor. You are learning to lean into it, to let it teach you patience, to let it teach you endurance, to let it stretch your faith, to let it expand your capacity. The person you are becoming under the weight is not the same person who first picked it up. Every day you endure, you are growing into a stronger version of yourself. Strength built through strain also creates confidence. When you have faced something that once terrified you and made it through, you walk differently. You talk differently. You approach the next challenge with a new level of calm because you know you have been here before and survived. The strain that once shook you now strengthens you. What once made you feel powerless now reminds you how powerful you actually are. You realize that you do not have to fear future challenges because you have already proven that you can carry heavy loads and come out stronger on the other side. And the growth is not just internal, it shows up in the way you interact with others. When you have been through seasons that stretched you nearly to your breaking point, you become more patient with those around you. You become more compassionate toward others who are struggling because you know firsthand how hard it can be to keep standing. At the same time, you also become more disciplined, more focused, more unwilling to waste time on things that don't matter because you learn through the strain how valuable your energy and effort really are. The strain teaches you what you truly value. When you are under pressure, you let go of what is trivial and cling to what is essential. You stop wasting strength on things that do not build you and start investing in what will last. You stop letting small distractions pull you off course because you have worked too hard to carry this far just to lose focus. Now, the very tension you once resented becomes the reason you are more focused, more intentional, more determined than ever. This process of building strength is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle. Every time you face strain, you are given the opportunity to become stronger. Every time you feel the pull and the pressure, you are given the choice to grow or to give in. Choosing to stay in the process, choosing to keep carrying even when your muscles are burning and your mind is tired, creates a strength that will carry you far beyond this season. It is building in you a foundation that will not crumble when life hits hard. The very thing that feels like a burden right now is the very thing that will become your crown later. Every sleepless night, every sacrifice no one else saw, every time you kept going when quitting was screaming, your name is being stored up as proof that you were willing to pay the price for the future you believed in. The crown is not given to the ones who had it easy. It is given to the ones who endured, who carried the weight even when it felt impossible, who stayed faithful when everything around them told them to stop. What you are holding today is not just a weight, it is a future reward in disguise. What feels heavy now will one day make you stand tall. The tears you have cried will one day be the reason you can smile with confidence, because you will know you earned your joy. The battles that felt endless will one day be the stories you tell with pride, because they shaped you into the person who can now handle victory without losing themselves. Every moment under the weight is preparing you for that moment where everything you have been working toward becomes reality. And when that moment comes, you will be ready because you didn't skip the process. There is a reason why crowns are not handed out easily. They symbolize authority. responsibility, victory. And those things must be earned. The load you are carrying now is your proving ground. It is testing your endurance, your faithfulness, your ability to stay consistent when there is no applause. The crown will only fit those who were willing to carry what came before it. The season of heaviness is not wasted. It is shaping your shoulders to bear the crown you are destined to wear. You might feel like no one notices how hard you are working. But every choice you make to keep holding the weight is being counted. Every time you decide to do what is right instead of what is easy,